Hello again, this is Selim coming to you live from the show floor here at Inbound 2025, right here in San Francisco. I don't think I need to tell you who this is. Everybody knows Kyle. Hello, Kyle.
Hi.
So Kyle is the evangelist here at HubSpot. And Kyle, everybody's asked you all sorts of questions. You've had some great sessions here. But I'm interested in specifically the activity you're doing on HubSpot Tips and Tricks and the new show that you started around last year called Monday Morning Briefing. We found that a lot of partners kind of flock to it, and it seems to be like our meetup every Monday morning where we just hang around together and discover the HubSpot platform, especially since HubSpot is being very prolific in their updates, 2,000 updates every single year. So I would love if you can tell me more about this show, why it came to be, and like how it's affecting the HubSpot organization, because I see a lot of product managers like jumping in on the chat, and sometimes we get special appearances from people like Dharmesh.
Yeah, so I first started HubSpot Tips and Tricks on LinkedIn, and it was meant to be tips and tricks. I thought every day I'll just share something about HubSpot, and I got through like a month and then I was out of ideas. But HubSpot is always releasing new features, and so I stumbled upon the idea of why don't I just tell people what's new? Turns out people really appreciate that. They were having trouble keeping on top of what was happening. And so with one video a day, I was pretty much able for a couple of years to help people stay abreast of the big updates. But HubSpot continues to accelerate, and I started to find that I could do one video a day and I'm not even getting through half of the good stuff, right? And so I was like, there needs to be maybe on a weekly basis some sort of recap of everything that's happened. And at first I just did a write-up, but that took a long time to do and nobody wanted to read it because it was long. And so I tried to do a video, but it was like really just boring, me just like reading product updates, right? And somewhere along the line, Max Cohen was like, hey, could we do this together? And I was like, that's what we're missing, right? And so Max and I just hang out and we're still just talking through these product updates, but we're both like kind of discovering them as we go.
Yeah.
Often some will hit while the show is going and we're just read them cold. And you see our real reactions to them, like, oh, we've always waited for this. Or like, oh, what is up? Why are we building this? Like, and you're right. People are weighing in the chat. It's become very much a community feel. And so all of that is very exciting. As for the product team, because HubSpot releases 2,000 updates a year, it's easy to think that like the product team is just king and they rule. But the reality of the typical product manager is they know that their update, unless it can somehow stand out against the tidal wave of 2,000 other updates, is not going to get noticed. And so if they can get Kyle Jepson to make a video about it, maybe they can get some comments and some customer feedback to validate whether or not they built the right thing, right? And the Monday morning briefing is even better because they're seeing live reactions, right? Like, what does the chat do when we reveal this new forms feature, right? It's like a sentiment analysis for them that they can't get any other way. And so I have never intending to kind of become the broker between the product team and the customer and partner base. The feedback goes both ways. Sometimes they meet up and recruit for betas, and it's just become a way to connect people that I didn't realize were so far apart, but are just delighted to kind of meet up.
I remember not Maggie, but one of the product managers jumped on the Monday morning briefing and gave us a tour of the product that they were launching. Recently, HubSpot Tips and Tricks started hosting not just you, but other partner content and expanded into a newsletter. Congrats on new addition to the family. While you were in paternity leave, a bunch of the community also was basically hosting the Monday morning briefing with Max, including myself, people like Casey Hawkins, Josh Wingate, and the like, and there's more to come. How has that inclusion of more partners in HubSpot Tips and Tricks helped the reach and just made it more valuable?
Yeah, so this is an evolving area. I will have more to say later. I've always kind of had this sense of, once I realized that HubSpot Tips and Tricks is a thing people wanted, I've started to realize the weaknesses in the way I've defined it. I am the guy who tells people about product updates. That is a need. And if I'm doing one video a day, it's going to be product updates. If I'm doing one show a week, it's going to be product updates. And so all I can do is product updates. But there are so many other things under the umbrella of HubSpot Tips and Tricks that people want, right? How do you optimize HubSpot? How do you implement it? If you're brand new, how do you get started? We could even talk about like industry-specific solutions that would be valuable to people. And I can't do all these things. And so I've always kind of thought, it would be cool to involve other people, but I didn't really feel any urgency around it. I didn't really know how to do it. And what really kicked it off, I think it was November of last year. I got sick. I got pneumonia. I was in bed for like 2 weeks, and HubSpot Tips and Tricks just went dark.
Yeah.
Right? There was no contingency plan. And what I realized, if this is just the Kyle Jepson show, I can't take a break. I can never go on vacation. And then when I found out my wife and I were having a baby, I was like, holy moly, I'm gonna take parental leave, but like, what do I do? And so then I started reaching out to people there are lots of people that post HubSpot content on LinkedIn specifically. And so I started reaching out to them and saying, hey, can you come under the HubSpot Tips and Tricks umbrella? And they've been kind enough to do that. And then you and several others have stepped into the Monday morning briefing so Max doesn't have to sit alone. And that is really exciting. When my leave is fully over and I've had a chance to debrief, I think there will be a lot of things we need to figure out. Turns out, because I made HubSpot Tips and Tricks a company page, it's pretty easy to add other people as admins to it, but LinkedIn's algorithm doesn't really love company pages.
Yep.
And like these people who are having good luck getting a lot of views and things on the videos they post on LinkedIn on their personal channels, they come to HubSpot Tips and Tricks and they're like, this is garbage. I feel like I'm just throwing it into a hole. And so like, we got to fix that, right? Like, how can I make it collaborative and make it work in a way that like it's worthwhile to collaborate? And so there's a lot to figure out still, but it's really exciting that so many people want to be involved.
What you're doing is really valuable, not just to customers, but to the partners as well. My last question, and I don't think anyone has asked you about that, but do you have any updates on Joan of Arc?
Yes. So for those who are unaware, I've written a musical about Joan of Arc. I partnered with a songwriter. The intention is to turn this into a full-length animated musical like Disney used to give us when we were kids. I have an animation studio who signed up. During my parental leave, I pulled together, I have an investor packet, I have ROI analysis and risk mitigation strategies. And after inbound is over, because this has been my focus for the last several weeks, with inbound in the rearview mirror, I'm going to start my outreach to potential investors and see if I can get this funded. So
that's exciting. We're looking forward to getting funded and getting produced. Thank you so much, Kyle, for taking the time. I know you're a busy guy here at Inbound, but thank you for talking to us.
Thank you. This is great.
And if you watch the Monday Morning Briefing, make sure to catch this next one where I'll be featuring with Max Cohen to go through all the updates in the fall spotlight that got revealed here at Inbound.
With that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.